They hate it when you come to work, do your job, and you just want to go home. They absolutely hate it. But before we get into this topic, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. Now, just to let you guys know, I've done a previous version of this, but this topic really resonates with me. So I just wanted to dive more into it. And I might repeat some of the same stuff, but I'm going to also put in some new things, just to give you a little disclaimer. So again, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it. 9 to 5, in my opinion and experience, is for survival. For me, it's never been a thing of where you can thrive in life from a 9 to 5. I just feel from my experience, a 9 to 5 has been just enough for you to pay your bills, whatever you can pay off. It's never been a thing where you can be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go to Brazil. I'm gonna stay there for a week. I'm gonna go travel the world. No, that's not what a 9 to 5 can do. At least not based on my experience. Maybe someone else's experience, they've been able to do that. But based on the jobs that I've been working, I have not been able to do that. And in my opinion, again, I feel like a business, entrepreneurship, that's where you can really have that time freedom. And a lot of these jobs that we take on, they don't offer that flexibility. You're always looking at your time because you're always locked into a specific time that your employer expects you to be there. Regardless of how much time you think you are free, how often you get to work remote at home, you still have to clock in. You still have to answer in some form of aspect, which still ties you into something, meaning you're not as free as you think you are. And the mental health aspect of working a 9 to 5 should really be studied. I really think it should be, because a lot of us are more miserable than I think we let on. I think a lot of us are miserable, but we play this game like, oh yeah, we're good. I'm okay. You know, when someone comes to you and passes you by in the street, how are you doing? I'm good. You know, that's the cliche response. Even though in your mind, you know, you have a lot of mental baggage inside of your mind that you have not dealt with. You may have some family problems. You may be dealing with the employer that you've been having arguments with in the back room of their office. You may have so many things going on that people just don't know about. But yet when someone asks you, how are you doing? You say, I'm fine. I'm good. How are you doing? I know this because I've done the same thing. People have asked me the same question and I kind of just give them the same kind of cliche, robotic response. We've all done this at some point, I believe. Now, again, in my opinion, I just feel the 9 to 5 it's about survival. It's the rat race, the hamster wheel, if you call it. It's not about thriving and being able to enjoy your life fully. It's about just being able to pay off the necessities that you're able to pay off with that 9 to 5. Because a lot of times with these 9 to 5 jobs, they strip so much time freedom that we want to have. We want to be able to spend time with our families. We want to be able to dive deep into our passions. And unfortunately, a lot of times, our passions get thrown all the way back, right in the back burner. And then by the time we get home, we have very little energy to even think about our passions. Because by the time we get home, the most thing that's on our mind is taking a shower and relaxing for whatever little time we have left before we have to do this whole process over again. Let's talk about the commuting. How stressful it is to just commute to a toxic environment. We don't talk about that enough. When you're in a toxic environment at work, the commute to a toxic environment alone is stressful. A lot of times you're sitting in traffic, whether you have a car or not. You have to follow a train or bus schedule to get to your job. Then on top of that, you're dealing with rude, nasty strangers in order to get to your job. You got to deal with these people on a daily commute. And then on top of that, by the time you punch out, you got to do the same thing again just to get home. And I think about it and I'm like, the accumulation of stress that many people feel has to be at a pinnacle at this point. I mean, there is no way we are doing well up here. There is no way we can be doing that well up here because we continuously go into these jobs because a lot of us don't have a choice. A lot of us don't have a choice. We have bills, we have insurance, we have premiums to pay off. We got so many things. We got food to put on the table. If you got a family, you got to make sure they got clothes. Your kids, of course, they have clothes. You got to make sure they go to the doctor annually, monthly, whatever the case may be. You got to make sure they have insurance. And if you have a vehicle, forget about it. Forget about it. To maintain a vehicle is almost equivalent to paying tuition. You might as well be thinking about tuition at this point to maintain a vehicle. And let's talk about it. Let's talk about the commodities that we have with these 9-to-5 jobs. This happened to me not that long ago. Our stove blew out. And there is no convenient time for your stove to blow out. I'm going to tell you that right now. There is no convenient time. Summer, spring, winter, fall, it don't matter. When your stove blows out, you feel so vulnerable. That's when you want to cook the most luxurious meal in that moment. The moment your stove blows out. That's when you're just like, man, I'm about to throw down. Now I can't even cook. Like, you just get mad. Then, what was crazy was around the same time, our fridge went out. It just stopped working. It stopped producing cold air. And it's like those moments where now all of a sudden you can't even open your fridge frequently because you want to kind of maintain as much cold air to keep whatever food you have left over in there fresh. So now you're like opening that fridge so cautiously every time because you're like, oh man, this is crazy. All this good food in here about to spoil. And it's like, what do you do in these moments when you don't have the funds to cover and maintain these commodities? Because a lot of us, I'm gonna be honest, a lot of us, I feel, had a hard time even purchasing these commodities. Stoves are not cheap. Refrigerators are not cheap. If you have a washer and dryer, those are not cheap. Can you imagine just the maintenance of just keeping these things operating at a well-mannered routine? Some of these things you got to service. You got to service certain things. You got to service your dryer. Make sure the lint trap is cleaned out. It's being serviced. You got to do these things. And if you fall behind, things get messed up. But we don't talk about these things enough. I feel everything, all of the accumulation of bills that most people have, a lot of the 9-to-5 jobs that we have cannot cover all of these things. It just cannot. If you get paid on a bi-weekly basis and you can say all you want. Oh yeah, I'm good with budgeting. I'm saving money. But a lot of these things that happen, a lot of these things that can break down at a moment's notice, will oversee a lot of the budgets that you already have set in place. Because unfortunately, you can't budget for your car breaking down and needing the engine. A lot of us can't budget for that because we don't know how much it's going to cost in the first place. We don't know. Yeah, you may have some money saved up in your account, but do you know how much an engine is? Do you know how much a transmission is? What if any of those things happen? Not saying I'm wishing it on anyone, but life is very unpredictable. And at any moment, your car could break down. Your stove can go out. Your refrigerator can go out. Sometimes these things happen simultaneously. Please tell me how you're budgeting for these things that you didn't even know would happen. Because a lot of times we're budgeting, just to be able to pay off the bills with these 9-to-5s. You're not budgeting you may budget just in case, like that emergency fund, in case I need to take out money to pay for any kind of disaster. But like I said, you cannot fully prepare for multiple disasters. You don't know how much you're going to need. And it's hard to prepare for something like that unless you just have money constantly coming in where you're able to save that money, which I feel a lot of people are not able to save that kind of money. Because a lot of these 9-to-5s have cutoff rates. They have caps. So they have rates where you can only make a certain amount. Even if you've been working at the job for, let's say, 5-10 years, now you can't even go over a certain amount because they capped off the salary. So you can only make a certain amount, which to me, it sucks. Because I feel like if you have been loyal to a company, which let's be honest, loyalty to a company, it doesn't pay any dividends. You don't get any cool points for being loyal to any company. Because like I said, and like I've experienced, my subscribers already know, you guys already know, your loyalty does not mean anything. At any moment, they can fire you. Any moment. And let me hear what you guys think about this. Let's get into this. This is going to be it may hit HR a little bit. If HR is listening, listen up closely. It's all right. But what do you guys think about 2-week notices? Like in a lot of these jobs, they want you to give them a 2-week notice. If you're deciding, if you're deciding to leave the job, they want you to give them a 2-week notice so they can prepare themselves, so they can find someone. What do you guys think about that? You guys think that's fair? I don't think that's fair. Because like I said, if they're going to decide to get rid of you, they're not thinking about giving you a 2-week notice. They don't give a damn about that. They're getting rid of you right away. And what some jobs do, they know when they're going to fire you. So they'll let you work your whole shift knowing they're going to fire you at the end of the day. Isn't that wicked? I think that's pretty damn wicked to do something like that. If you're going to fire me in the morning. Don't let me do my entire shift just to tell me I'm letting you go. That's pretty wicked to me. And like I said, I don't believe that we should be giving these 2-week notices. Again, that's a sign. That's something that people who have treated you right deserve. You know what I mean? You don't give someone that kind of respect when they can't even give you even half that respect. So I'm supposed to give you 2-week notices for you to tell me you can't reciprocate that. You're going to let me go as soon as possible. As soon as you don't like me or you feel like my services are not needed, you're not thinking about that whole 2-week notice. So why should employees do the same thing for these companies? If you guys have any reasoning behind that, I would love to hear it. Please put that in the comment, because I truly believe with all my heart, I don't believe in giving any 2-week notices, because a lot of these companies, they don't care about you. They only care about you when things are going well. And as soon as the bottom line is affected, that's when they're going to come down on you. That's when they come talk to you. And let's talk about another elephant in the room. The so-called work-life balance. Again, do you believe there is any such thing as a work-life balance? I honestly don't believe in a work-life balance for a lot of these jobs. I feel like they'll tell you there is a work-life balance. We believe in our employees getting as much rest, as much family time, as much time to focus on their mental health, so they can come to our job and do a productive job. That's what some of these companies will tell you. But again, if you really watch your employers, if you really watch, the environment that you're in, if you really watch how they manage, are they really promoting that by their actions? Because if they're just giving you more and more work every quarter, like you're doing more and more work, you're not getting as much breaks, you're not getting as much vacation time, everything is staying the same, but yet your work is just increasing. Every professional development you have, they're always talking about more work for you, more clients coming in, more inventory you got to look through. If you're hearing all of those red flags, pay attention. Pay close attention, because all that means is you're going to have to be more responsible to do more work for the company. If they're not talking about hiring more people, which was a big red flag for one of the jobs I used to work at. I remember they used to be just throwing extra work on us all the time. And the job was always short-staffed. That's a big red flag. Pay attention. A job is always short-staffed or people are always quitting. That's a that's a big red flag. Pay attention. Don't take that as, it's just nothing. People are maybe getting sick. No. If you hardly see people come onto the job and work consistently, or if you're always seeing people leave the job permanently and never come back, big red flags. I'll tell you a little story. There was one time I was working in the school system, and I was doing training with one of these guys. Nice guy. I used to talk to him a little bit. He was cool. Tell me how they said this guy, they asked him to get a copy from the copy machine. Short story. They asked him to get the copy from the copy machine. He never came back. He never brought the copy back. Like, what can I explain about that story? The fact that they gave him an instruction. He was in training, mind you. He never came back to give them that copy. He ghosted himself and left. He was never again seen again. Now, everybody laughed about this story because it is funny, like the man that disappeared, never brought the copy back, and he was gone. Like that sounds very funny. But at the same time, it's like some people will really realize that an environment, a job is just not for them. And I give kudos to those people. I really do. Because some environments you realize, hey, this ain't for me. Like you may realize at the last moment that this job is just not for me. And kudos, because you may realize it on training and you say to yourself, I thought this was the job for me, but nah, it's not going the way I want it to go. And you got to really be real with yourself. Just because you made it that far to training doesn't mean you should continue. There are moments in our lives where the real test of, should I be doing this? Should I quit this? Should I continue? Those questions will come up, and we have to be the ones to answer it. And to be honest, another thing I wanted to bring up is the whole hustle, get the bag mentality that they have us thinking. When it comes to mental health, those two don't co-align with each other. Like, if you want to have a great mental health, you have to have mindfulness. These are just some things I'm throwing out. You have to be mindful of your environments. You can't just be in any environment and expect to have great mental health. You cannot. You cannot exist in certain environments knowing that you care about your mental health. You just can't. And when you talk about mental health and co-aligning with the environments, the toxic environments, we have to understand that, no, we have to say no to these things. There is no way. So if you're talking about getting the bag and hustling, we got to understand and be mindful that we need rest, which is something that they won't promote. They won't promote rest. They won't promote go on that vacation with your family. Enjoy yourself. Get away from this job for several days. I'm not going to be micromanaging you. Get away and enjoy yourself and come back refreshed. You see, burnout is so normalized because they put the American dream right beside it. And they say, if you really want this, this is what you got to do. You got to burn yourself out to a point of exhaustion in order to get that white picket fence with the big house. That's not normal. There ain't nothing normal about doing that to yourself. No one wants to die in a cubicle. Nobody. But I believe there have been so many cases where people have lost their lives. Lost their lives because they overworked themselves. They didn't focus on their families. They didn't focus on their passions. And they literally worked themselves to death. And I don't think that's spoken about a lot with these jobs, because at the end of the day, they're just trying to fill a quota. You are just a number. You are just a number they pulled, and it's just your turn. In a minute, the minute they feel it's not working out, all of that junk about we want a professional family, we want people that's really not here for a check, all of these terms that they will use to kind of deceive you and create this false illusion for you to believe that people actually care about you there. They'll create all of these terms and make you feel like we are a work family, which you shouldn't believe in the first place. No, there is no such thing as a work family. Your family are the ones that don't clock in. That's your real family. Not the people who telling you to go clock in. No. And honestly, I can bring up some more situations. So the icebreakers. You know the icebreakers when you first get to a job and they forcefully try to make you have fun? They want you to forcefully smile. Oh yeah, we're having so much fun. Isn't this fun getting to know each other? I love you guys. While they're glaring at each other. You know what I'm talking about. The icebreakers at the beginning of the fall orientations, the start of the job. So they try to forcefully play these group games to make everyone believe that this is going to be a great environment. Like, we want you guys to have fun. We want you guys to know each other. So we're going to play these large group of games and ask you these personal questions, like you actually give a damn about any of these people. That's what they'll do. I've been in them, so this is what I'm telling you based on my experience. I've been in a lot of these fake toxic environments, and it just feels awkward. You know, they line everybody up in one giant circle, have you staring at each other awkwardly, and it's just so fake. Half of these people don't even like you. Don't even like you, and they have you asking each other personal questions that you don't even want to answer. Like, the only thing you need to know is my name, just in case you need to do something concerning the job. You understand? It's not about knowing where I come from, knowing what's my favorite food. Who cares? Why should you know what my favorite food is? You're not going to care about that. You're going to come to my house and cook me that favorite food? I mean, why are we doing all of this? Because you decide to call it an icebreaker. So you think this is what we all want to do. No, icebreakers are for things where you actually want to be there. You know what I mean? When you're in environments that you actually want to be in, that's when you should have icebreakers. It's not for environments that's already toxic, but they create this illusion that we are family and this is something that we want everyone to be comfortable with. So they're not telling you it's a toxic environment because, you know, why would they? That's not a part of the agenda, right? And you got other things about these jobs. Like, another thing I really hated was the suggestion book. Now, it's not called that, but you guys know what I'm talking about. That book that they say, any feedback that you have in your mind, please write it in the book. Tell me one time where the feedback was actually discussed. Like, whatever you wrote in that book, it never was discussed. You could write a whole paragraph, 2 paragraphs even. They will never come back to you and say, yo, I heard you wrote this in here in January. I just wanted to go over this and kind of get your feedback on what you meant by this. You will never hear that. That's just a book to make you believe that they actually care what you think. As sad as that sounds, I mean, what else is that book there for? People have made countless complaints, countless, speaking to the manager, employer, letting them know this is what I'm experiencing, and nothing has been done. Nothing has been done. So honestly, what is the point of a suggestion book? But again, I feel they make these things to make you feel like you're in an environment where we actually care about you. You are living in the twilight zone. Let's just be real. They don't care about you. And a lot of them are very good actors and actresses. They will make it seem as if this is a caring environment and caring in a genuine environment. And in actuality, it is the twilight zone. We are going to eat your brain at the end of this whole thing. We're just trying to make you feel as comfortable as possible. So in actuality, let's just break it down. What can we do, right? Because I don't want to just have this sound like just a rant. What can we do? Now, me personally, I'm not trying to just do another 9-to-5 and sit here and do the same things over and over, because at the end of the day, that's called insanity. Me, I'm trying to follow my passions. So one of my passions, not poetry, that's one of them, but that's not the one I'm talking about. Copywriting. This is something that I'm very passionate about, and I've been taking some training on, and I'm trying to further dive into it because I can do this on the side and it's a very lucrative field. A lot of money can be made in this field. And eventually I can do this full time. And I don't need to come into an office. I don't need to commute. I don't need to deal with the fake politics going on with 9-to-5s. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because we all need to figure out ways to alleviate the stress that we feel, the mental health exhaustion of coming into work for people that don't care. We got to figure this out, guys. And this is the reason why I wanted to make this video, to tell you this. Dive into what you really care about. See what you love and focus on that. Even if you got to do it part-time. When you get home, I don't care how tired you are. Put in a few minutes a day, if you have to, into yourself. Because at the end of the day, these guys do not care about us. Real talk, they do not care about us. Again, please like, share, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys next time. Message.